I didn't have those type of mentors in my life at the time. And but bless God, I'm still here. So when you know better, you do better. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that when we sat down to discuss money, it didn't even we never discussed money. I just started working for the man. And it was funny because I submitted an invoice and I was charging him like $60 a hairstyle. And I was like, I think I did that for maybe about a year, right? And then I had met Will Smith barber, and I said, how much money you charge him? And he said, what you talking about? I'm dealing with a millionaire. I get 2-3 grand a week. I said, a week? And he said, I know you making more than that. You work for Prince. And I said, yeah, nah. I said, no, he making 2-3 grand a day, he said. And that's what really blew my wig back. And I said, a day?
I'm so glad you could make it. Sit down, sit down. Oh, yeah. Oh, the band is gonna be awesome tonight. I dig it. I'm so glad you could make it.
Hey, welcome back to Therapy Sessions. I'm your host, Auntie Hair Coach, and I interview everyday people telling real stories about their beauty industry journey. Today's guest is a hair architect, beauty expert, celebrity stylist, author, motivational speaker, and philanthropist. Kim Berry has entered the chat. Welcome, Miss Berry. I'm so glad to finally get to talk to you. I can't stand it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes. So my audience always likes to know, before we get into your story, we always like to know just who we're dealing with. Like, where did you grow up? How did you grow up? What shaped you into the person who would later become a cosmetologist?
Well, I grew up in Los Angeles. A lot of people call it South Central. Born and raised here. Dad from Tennessee, mom from North Carolina. So everybody think I'm from the country, but I'm a LA girl through and through. I'm a baby of 5 boys and the only girl. And so I was going to school to be a doctor, of course. Well, I got straight A's all through school. When I got to 12th grade, I told mama, I'm not going to school no more. I'm going to take a year off for what the kids are calling a gap year. And I said, I'm going to take a year off and find myself. My mother said, find yourself, huh? I said, yeah. She said, okay. So about 2 months into that summer, she was like, okay, what are you getting ready to do? I said, not getting ready to do nothing. I'm chilling. And she said, yeah, no. She said, you're going to go to school, you're going to get a job, or you're going to get the hell out of my house. I said, yeah, okay. Now the boy's sitting around doing nothing, but I got to go. Okay, got it. So I went stumping mad, walked up Crenshaw Boulevard and walked into Pacific Beauty College and was talking to him. He took me on a tour through the whole school and told me about the dress code and okay, you wear black and white every day. You wear your smock. Don't come to school with the smock dirty. Your shoes better not be dirty. I'll put you out. And he said, and if you miss one day, he said, don't come back for 30. I said, what kind of rules is these? I said, what you talking about? Before I know it, that man had me signing a contract on the dotted line, said, I'll see you tomorrow. Here's your smock. I said, wait a minute, what just happened? I said, I wasn't coming down. I was just coming to look at the place. And he said, I'll see you tomorrow, Barry. He said, you in the right place at the right time. I took the paperwork home to my mother. I said, well, I hope you happy. I go to beauty school now. She said, I hope you happy, and went in her room and closed the door. I said, oops. I said, now that wasn't the response I was expecting. And girl, literally, a 12-month course, I did it in 9 months. I did not miss not one day. And 6 months into the course, I won my first hair competition. And I was just there because my mother was making me be there. The teacher kept saying, why are you here? I said, because my mother making me come. And she said, oh, okay. She said, by the time you finish this course, you're going to be a hairstylist. I said, a cosmetologist. I said, no, I'm not. I'm just doing this for something to do. And she said, so she's like, yeah, okay. And 6 months into the schooling. That's when they did a statewide competition with 200 kids, and I took first place. I kept asking her, help me, help me. She wouldn't help me. She said, no, go back to your book. So I colored my friend hair orange. I colored it some weird green color. It turned another weird color. I said, oh, Lord. I told my friend, I'm so sorry. I'm going to destroy your hair. She said, it's okay, Kim. Don't worry about it. Girl, we got that hair together and got to that competition. She showed up in this beautiful long gown with gloves and diamonds on. Oh my God, we killed them at a 2-day competition, and I won first place. And I said, well, maybe it is something to this. And my teacher walked over and said, didn't I tell you I was going to make you a hairstylist?
I
I was like,
love
whatever, Miss
that.
Cooper. And the rest was history. Yeah.
I love that.
That's
I
it.
love that.
Mhm.
So you prior to that had never thought I want to be a hairstylist when I grow up. It was just like a
Not
spur of the
even thinking
moment.
about it. Yeah.
Wow.
Just walked down the street and walked into a beauty college. First thing I saw, I said, "Oh,
Wow.
okay." And I said, "Now I think
Wow.
about Akila and the B all the time when they say that everybody that comes into your life is a teacher." And I'm like, the teacher gave me a hard time, and the owner of the school gave me a hard time. Buckle down and focus, Barry. Buckle down and focus. I was just like, I don't even want to be here. What I got to focus for? I said, I said so, but I made it through. Like I said, that 1 year course, I did it in 9 months. I didn't miss one day.
Wow.
I got in there and knocked it down. And to this day, our school is known as producing the most celebrity hair and makeup artists in the state of
Wow.
California.
What's the
Yeah,
name of the school?
it was Pacific Beauty College. Now it's called Hair something. I forgot what it's called now, but it 54th and Crenshaw.
Wow, but it's
Yeah.
still there. That's amazing.
Yeah, the building's
Now,
still there. Just
grow
Raw Silk. It's called Raw Silk Hair Academy now.
okay. Okay. Now, for people like me, growing up in the 80s and 90s, and you hear all the stories about South Central LA, you've seen all the movies. What was it like growing up in South Central LA with four
Oh,
brothers?
Five brothers. I said, yeah,
Five
it was
brothers.
cool. I had no little to no problems. The one fight that I thought I was gonna have, and a group of kids followed me home, and I called my brother out the house. I'm running towards the house, hollering his name. Wee Willie. He came jumping over the fences towards me, like, which one is it? I was like,
Yes.
so I had to, even if I tried to date or whatever, guys would be like, you got how many brothers? Yeah, never mind. That's okay.
I'm good.
Yeah, so they went on about their business. So I was just like,
Yeah.
oh wow. So yeah, it even though we lived in the hood, and at that time we were on the east side of LA, and we lived in the hood, but mama didn't take no mess. And like I said, coming from a family with all them boys,
Yeah.
pops kept them on the straight and narrow. So she said, I'm not losing one child to gang banging. She packed us all up one day, moved us to the other side of town, to the west side, and yeah, man, we just, moms and pops, it wasn't no joke. So it wasn't no messing up. It was go to school. And I used to see the boys get in trouble. So I dare not mess
Okay.
around. So I didn't play with them whoopings. So I stayed as far away
Okay.
from drama as I could. So yep,
Yes.
it was all good. I said, even though I seen, they say you don't have to be a product of your neighborhood, no matter what's going on outside. What's in the home is what counts. And there was love and peace and prosperity inside the home. So we had a good foundation. So we did good. I tell
I
everybody
love
this
that.
little girl from the hood did good.
Yes. Yes.
Hmm.
So how old were you when you graduated cosmetology school?
Let me see, 16. I graduated from high school. So 18.
18.
That's when
Okay.
I finished, when I got off my butt and then went to school. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're 18 years old. You just finished cosmetology in 9 months, which you never even planned on doing.
Mm-mm.
It sounds like you felt prepared though. Once you graduated, you were a cosmetologist. So now
Yes.
what? Where do you go
I went
looking
to
for
work
a
in
job?
my sister-in-law had a salon called Press and Curls over on the west side of town. So I went to go work with her as an assistant. So I worked with her for a while. Then I wound up coming back to LA and working with another young lady, Bobby, and Wilkerson. So left there, became her assistant. And after that, I was like, maybe I could do this on my own. So I just started branching out little by little and decided to uh, rent a booth, for the day or the weekend and see how that went. And then when my clients started coming, little by little, And one word got out, and people are like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to this girl named Kim. Oh, she hooking up Bob's, and she putting your name, spelling your name in your hair, and all that, girl." So fire caught on, and it flew. And then before I knew it, I had a full blown clientele. Like I was
Yeah.
making so much money, I used to have to call one of my brothers to come walk me to my car at night because that's how much
Yeah.
money I'd have in my pocket every night.
Nice. So at one point, because I mentioned at the beginning that you were a celebrity hairstylist, but I never named any names. So I know we're gonna get into some of those. So at some point, so now you're out on your own, you're making money hand over fist in the salon.
Mhm.
At what point, how do you become then Prince's hairstylist?
I was dating one of his bodyguards, my first little boyfriend. And so he had been with him like 6 years or something like that. And so I kept telling him, put me on, put me on. I just put me on the production crew. I just want to go, be a part of it.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, this ain't nothing you want to do. And I was just like, no, it is something I want to do. So eventually he wound up introducing me to his hairstylist. So then I started hanging out with the hairstylist. So everywhere they went, they going to the club, I'm going, getting dressed up. They going to do a party, I'm going with them. So she one day, and I'm looking at her, and my dad used to tell me all the time, success is when opportunity meets preparedness. When the opportunity presents itself, will you be prepared? So as I'm hanging out with her, I'm looking at her table, and I'm like, oh, she uses that comb, I went and bought that comb. Oh, she uses that hairspray, I went and bought that hairspray. She went, oh, she did. And before I knew it, I had her whole table duplicated. And
Mm.
so never thinking I'd ever get to do Prince, I said, but I was just like, if she a celebrity stylist, I want to use whatever she's using. And so she had been with him like 7 years, and she was just having a bad day, I guess. And she was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired of living out of a suitcase. I want to go home and get married like everybody else. I was like, what are you talking about? You got the best job in the world. She's like, Kim, it ain't what you think. And lo and behold, once I walked a mile in her shoes, I said, oh yeah, it ain't what you think. Okay. So she had told me, she said, yeah, I think I'm gonna quit. I said, you're gonna quit? You got the best job in the world. She said, yeah, nah, it's not what you think. She said, so I said, I think you work for the biggest entertainer in the world. She was like, okay, Kim. So she just walked away. And she got, my mom used to say, life and death is in the power of the tongue. Be careful what you speak. And so sure enough, she went in the room. We were shooting some video, and I was hanging out on set. I'm ironing clothes, So if you was around, Prince watching you at all times, like, who is that person? He might not say that to you, but he see you. So um I'm in there ironing pants, all kind of stuff, just trying to be down so I could be doing, looking busy. And
In the
so
room, yeah.
yeah, she went into the room, and she started hooking his hair up or whatever, and he snatched the comb out of her hand. And she said, you know what? She said, my lips is chapped from kissing your little black ass. I'm out of here. And girl, she packed up her stuff and left, girl. And see, that's the thing.
What?
Yeah, that's the thing with Prince. Prince quit you. You don't quit Prince. So the next day, as arrogant as he was like, tell Tanya get the salon ready, because he traveled everywhere with his hairstylist and his bodyguard. And they was like, yeah, no, Tanya quit. He said, what you mean Tanya quit? They was like, Tanya quit. She got on the plane and went home. They was like, what? And he said, so you got me out here without a hairstylist? And they was like, yeah. They like, you better they told the bodyguard, you better find somebody. So they get on the get ready to go to Germany that day. So they go to Germany, hire somebody out there. Prince hated them. Came back home 2 days later. The bodyguard said, look, we're gonna be at this club on 3rd and La Cienega. Make your way to the club. I already told my homeboys let you in, this, that, the third, right? So I go in the club, I'm dressed to the nine. I had already been doing photo shoots. I'm got my portfolio with my fresh shots in it. And I'm coming in like, the businesswoman that I am, pretending. And so I walked into the club. I see them in the back of the club in the corner. I walk over, and the bodyguards open up, and he see me walking towards him. And he's looking like, who is this? And so Coco said, this is the girl I was telling you about. And he said, oh, okay. So I'm giving my portfolio. He looking through the book. He said, so you do hair? I said, yeah. He said, you got a salon? I said, yeah. He said, tell them where it is. So I said, okay. So I tell them where it is. So I already know that she already told me, black out the window so can't nobody see in. Get the stuff ready. Put everything in the same place, same order, like you saw my stuff in. Because he got OCD, that I find out little did I know, like years later. I'm like, oh, okay. So get the table set up, and then the phone rings. Yeah, Kim. I'm like, yeah, this is Prince. I was like, and he said, I ain't gonna be able to make it. I said, oh, okay, well, no problem. I said, next time you come to LA, just know you got a hairstylist. He said, yeah. He said, do you travel? And I'm like, what? He's like, do you travel? And I said, yeah. He said, the flight leaves in an hour. We're sending a limo to come pick you up. I said, what? He said, is there a problem? I said, no, ain't no problem. I hung up the phone. I was like, oh my God, oh my God. So I called my mama, like, guess what? I just talked to Prince. She like, quit lying. I was like, no, I just talked to Prince. She said, so I tell her what happened. Now we both on the phone screaming and hollering. So then she says, I said, wait a minute. I said, he said the flight leaving an hour, they send a limo to come pick me up. I'm like, I ain't got no clothes. She said, you take the clothes on your back and take your hairspray, your curling irons, and you get to Minnesota. She said, when you get there, get to Target. She said, go, I'm gonna send you a Western Union, you go to Target, get you a duffel bag, put some clothes in, and you keep moving. I said, okay, mama, okay. Girl, I go outside, girl, sure enough, big limo pulled up. I'm like, oh snap. I was like, this is happening. Girl, get to LAX, get to the airport, get in the plane, first seat, girl, Prince and his brother sitting in the first seat. He hit me with the head nod. I'm like, oh my God, this is happening. Girl, I got on the plane. The plane lands in Minnesota. I see snow for the first time. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, oh, Christmas lights everywhere. So we go into Paisley Park. His brother says, I'm going to get you set up. He said, you're going to do my hair first. And then, we'll let you know. I said, okay, great. So I already know I got 1,600 hours that qualify me for this. So let's go. So we go upstairs into the salon. I lay my stuff out. I see the purple rain jacket. I see the raspberry beret outfit. I see jewelry laying all around. So they was getting ready for some type of exhibit or something. I'm just like, okay. So my mama told me all growing up, when you go in somebody's house, you don't touch nothing, don't belong to you. So I went straight to my station, set up my station, got there, and I'm waiting. His brother walks in, hook his hair up, brah, bah, he gone. His brother said, okay, hold on, I'm gonna send somebody else in. Female walks in, bah, got her out. My teacher said, quality and then quantity. Never sacrifice one for the other. Your first head need to look as good as your last head. I was like, oh, he built my speed up in beauty school that I ain't never lost it to this day. People, when I'm working on whatever sets I'm on, everybody like, dang, you fast? You finished already? Like, yeah. And so the girl comes in, I hook her up. She leave, another female come in. Girl, 4 girls later, I said, okay, they working me to death. They not playing. I was like, all right. So his brother sticks his head in the door and say, hey, hold tight. He said, he'll be in a minute. I said, okay, girl. I'm sitting there looking around, see all these Prince pictures on the wall. I'm like, oh, I said, this place is really nice. I said, they think I don't know it's a camera on me. I said, I did not move, sat there for 2.5 hours with my hands in my lap, chilling. I said, so then finally his brother stick his head in the door and say, you didn't steal nothing, did you? I said, first of all, my mom ain't raised no fools. I said, and second of all, I got to go to the bathroom. Y'all play too much. He's like, oh, sis, you could have went to the bathroom. I'm like, nah, I ain't moving this man's house. And he said, all right. He said, okay, he showed me where the bathroom is. He said, for real, he'll be in here in a few minutes. I said, don't you leave me sitting here another 2.5. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, Minnesota time now. I'm on a whole nother time zone. I done worked a full day of work. I'm just like, what is going on? So about 10 minutes later, Prince stuck his head in the door. He said, yeah, how you doing? I said, fine. And I'm like, oh, you smaller than I thought. And I was like, oh, did that just come out? And he said, yeah, I get that all the time. Girl, I start laughing. He says, yeah, you got the job. He said, but you got to leave them nails at home. He said, I'm tender-headed. You can't have that in my head. I said, oh, okay. Girl, I had long curved nails like Coco from SWV back then, girl, because I used to comb hair with my fingernails. And so I said, oh, okay, no problem. Click, click, click. Girl, I started breaking nails off right in front. He said, oh my God. He's like, girl, you funny. He like, all right, go back to the hotel. We going to Miami in the morning. I said, you're not going to get your hair done? He said, no, don't worry about me. He said, I'll let you know when I'm done. I said, when I feel like it. I said, okay, cool. So we go to Miami. We stay 2 or 3 days. He called me on the phone. Kim, get whatever you want. He said, go see the city. I'll let you know when I'm ready. I said, okay, cool. Stay there 2 or 3 days. I'm sightseeing, doing everything, girl. Nothing. So then he called. He's like, we're going to Chicago in the morning. We leave to go to Chicago. We there 2 or 3 days. He in the studio recording a new album. Little did I know. But so we chilling, and so we going from place to place. So then his brothers and everybody else is coming to get their hair done, but he ain't. So I get to Chicago. We did Chicago, Atlanta, and some other city. And finally they call and say, Kim, we going to New York. I said, okay, cool. He said, Prince said, get the salon ready. I said, okay, so I already know. Get the private room, black out the windows, set up the stuff the way it's supposed to be set up. I'm ready. I said, okay, I got my little room. So Prince, they give me all these instructions. Kim, don't touch his ears. Don't look him in the face. I said, how the hell I'm going to do his hair? Can't look him in his face. I said, what are you talking about? They was like, Kim, I'm telling you, don't look him in his face. I said, Lord, whatever. So they said, don't touch his ears. Don't spill no water on him. Don't put no color on him. This, that. I was like, okay, I got it. I got $1,600. I did y'all hair right. I could do his. So he comes in. I do the normal consultation. I'm like, drape, sanitize, analyze. I got this. Come on, sit down. So he tells me, okay, I want a haircut. I need my hair dyed black. I'm like, he's like, this exact same cut, as a matter of fact, girl. So I said, okay, cool. Because he came in, his hair was down to his shoulders. I said, okay, cool. So, girl, get him in the chair, whoop, 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 do the cut, get the perm on, put him in the bowl, rinsing his hair out. Girl, the hose jumped out my hand, water all down his face. I said, oh my God, oh my God. I said, oh, I'm sorry. He got up, put his tap to say, he said, okay, look, I know you're nervous, but I'm going to need you to slow down. I said, okay. Girl, get him ripped out, put the color on his hair. What the first thing I do? Drop color on his ear. I was like, oh my God. So I went to go get the color off. He grabbed my hand. I was like, oh yeah, don't touch his ears. Okay, got it. So he got the ear. So then I get the blow drying him, curling him up, hit him in the top of the head with the curling iron. Oh, he looked at me. He said, you good? I said, I'm good. My bad. He
Oh
said,
my God.
girl, so then I get him curled up. Girl, he looked in the mirror, coiffed his little beard. He said, yeah, that's gonna work. He said, your car waiting for you outside. Girl, that man spin around them little heels and disappeared. Girl, I don't know where he went. I called my mother. I said, girl, I just did Prince hair. She said, quit lying. The guy that did Prince hair. We screamed and hollered. And then I look out the window and the limo sitting outside. And I was like, I said, I don't know what's going on. He didn't say good or bad. He just said, yeah, that's gonna work. And he left. And she said, did he say go home? I said, no. She said, then keep rolling. I said, okay. And literally, I was with that man for 29 years, and some of the highest of the highs and some of the lowest of the lows. The most incredible journey you could ever imagine in life. It was amazing.
Oh my gosh. That I
Yeah.
have goosebumps. I don't know
Okay.
many people that are not a Prince fan, for starters. And I know one of your things is like you can't really be a fan of your client, right? You have to,
Right.
like, we are their advisor, we're their confidant, we're their, all of those things.
Yes.
I, on the other
And the
hand,
funny part about that is he was 10 years older than me, but everybody said I was more like his mama than I was his sister, slash hairstylist. But that's the trip about it, because we wear many hats. So you do everything for them.
yeah,
So yeah, definitely. So people would ask me to this day, like, do you know this song? Do you know that song? I said, I probably heard it,
yeah,
throughout the day, but I'm not a Prince fan. I went to work every day and I served that man as if he was God himself. And until the day that he died. So it was just an amazing, you know, place to be.
yeah. And I definitely want to get to when you found out that he passed away. But before we get there, I have this saying where I say, what's said in the chair stays in the chair. So I know there's certain things that are going to always be just between the two of y'all, but I do have just a few questions before we move on. Um, so I know that people are going to want to know, what type of client was he? Would he come in with ideas of what he wanted already, or did you just freestyle on him? How did you guys kind of come up with his looks?
It kind of depends. So we knew like every album he was going for a new look. So that was always a given. One time he just went outside and was out there riding his bike and came back in and was like, Kim, brought me a flower that was orange. He was like, can you color my hair the color of this flower? I was like, of course I can. I was like, sit down. So girl, we sat down and gave him orange highlights, girl, at the top of his hair. Like we was doing ombre before ombre was even a thing. Okay. And
Hmm.
so it was just amazing. So we collaborated just like he does on his music with his people. The band members that play instruments collaborated on notes and things. We collaborated on hairstyles. So we would always discuss, and we kept magazines, everything from like London, L, W, all the different Cosmo, everything. Well, I would buy London, Japan. So he wanted to see what was happening across seas. So if everybody was short here, he wanted to go long. And if everybody was long here, he wanted to go short. Like he never wanted to, he tried every hairstyle known to woman. So he didn't care. He could, be anything at any time. He said he could wear the weirdest things and he gonna make it look good, so it don't even
Gonna be
matter.
fine,
So
baby.
yes, he cracked me up. So he wasn't afraid to try any style, and so it was just a really amazing experience. But yeah, it just depend on what mood he was in. And
Yeah.
sometimes, it was just me. like you said, freestyling. Okay, I'm gonna do this today. Like we did an Ebony magazine photo shoot, and I told him I'm gonna do your hair in these waterfall curls. He said, "What's a waterfall curl?" And I started explaining to him, "Okay, I gotta use this oil and this hairspray, and I'm gonna pull it up." Girl, he heard that
Pump it
hairspray
up.
sizzle. He was like, "Kim," I said, "Don't worry, boss. I'm not burning your hair. That's the hairspray." And so hooked him up, got in front of the photographer. The photographer said, "Oh my God, your hair looks amazing." And he said, "Oh, it's all her fault." And I started laughing. He said, "Because that way, when the pictures come out, Kim, if I don't look good," he said, "I'm gonna tell the fans it was all your fault." I said, "You are crazy," but yeah, it was amazing. It was it was easy, but he would always make it long, girl. Like he'd come in and sit in the chair, and I put his perm on, and we get him rinsed off, and he like, "Let me go get something to eat." I said, "Okay, that'll turn into an hour." Then he come back, "Oh, I gotta make a phone call, Kim, hold on, that'll take another 30 minutes." So what would have been a 35-40 minute hairstyle turned into 4 and 5 hours. I'd be like, "I think you just want somebody to hang out with you. I see what's going on." I said,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
but I gave
And
people what they wanted, girl.
yes. And I mean, even I work at this stage of my career, I'm just part-time behind the chair, but even just behind the chair in a, small town salon, people do that there too. Sometimes people just want to talk. So I was curious
Yes.
if that was just like, I just need somebody to like rub my scalp and tell me it's going to be okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I
Yeah,
said, Mama said every time he lay his hands in your head, she said you anoint his head with oil, and like you said, who know you better than your hairstylist and your bartender? Nobody, because they lay down and
absolutely.
tell you all their secrets, and everything about their lives and everything else. So it was just a day-to-day challenge, because you never know. Some days he come in laughing and joking, we'll be bagging on each other's mamas, and then some days he'll walk in and he'll be silent, and I knew that was the day he was gonna get the quickest 8 curls of his life. So yeah, get
Hmm.
that boy in there and get him out, because he's perplexed
Yes,
and going through something. So I just made
yes.
sure, as long as he looked good, he felt good, he was gonna have a good rest of the day after he left my chair. So yeah.
Did did you ever create a hairstyle that he didn't like?
Oh, girl, them buckwheat braids. That was the Raven to the Joy Fantastic hairstyle. Oh my God. One day we were walking through Paisley Park. I just finished his hair feathered, fly, looking good. And we get to the kitchen area. They call it the atrium. And he says, "I think I want to do a photo shoot." He like, "Go get Steve and let's do some pictures." I said, "Okay, great." So I go get Steve, the photographer, bring him back. He said, "I think I want braids in my hair." I said, "Braids?" He said, "Yeah." He said, uh, I said, "You want me to part it and do it, nice cornrows?" And he said, "Nah, just pick it up and put plaits everywhere." He said, "My cousin used to wear hair like that, and I want to try it." I said, "Ugh, okay." So girl, I picked it up. It's a picture of me right now. Steve took a picture. He said I should get Steve to take a picture of us. I said, "Yeah." Bye bye. He shot 2 pictures. And Steve, never said nothing else about it. So then he said, "Just kidding." But Steve had already shot the shots, right? So I'm braiding his hair, and I said, "Oh, all you need is some pretty bow reds now." He said, "You know what? Go upstairs and give me some ribbons from upstairs." So, girl, I go upstairs. So he got on a peach outfit. I go upstairs and I said, "Hey, Prince said he want some material to match his outfit so I can make ribbons." And they looked at me. They said, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, don't ask." So, girl, I go back downstairs. I hook him up. He said, "Yeah, I need this with every hairstyle that I do." And I said, from now on, I said, "Oh God, okay." So girl, he wound up shooting that day in the hallway, got his little pictures, and girl, the fans went crazy. That wound up being the hairstyle for Joy until the Rave Fantastic. And for 2000. And so everybody's like, my friends was calling like, "Kim, what the hell?" I said, "Hey," I said, "when you in Rome, you do what the Romans say do." I said, "And I give the people what they want." Okay, if he
Yes,
told me stand
ma'am.
it up and turn it purple and make it go that way, that's what I'm finna do. Okay, long as my check come on Friday, I don't care about nothing in the middle. Okay.
I know that's right. I know that's
Yeah.
right. Now, you were
Oh, what's
pretty
funny
young.
is years later, Kendrick Lamar wound up doing the same hairstyle with the same ribbons hanging off the
Oh,
side. I put him and Kendrick Lamar side by side with their plaques. I said, "You're welcome, Kendrick."
yes. I know that's right. I know that's
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
Now you were pretty young when you came to work with Prince. Do you know roughly what that time frame was?
Um, when I started working for him, or
Hmm.
how old I was, which one?
You like what roughly what year and how old were you?
Oh, yeah, I probably was. I want to say that was to be 19 or 20 because it didn't take me but 9 months to finish beauty school. And then I went into
Mhm.
the salon, and from the salon I met him. So
Mhm.
yeah, so must have been 20, I guess. And so that
Okay.
must have been, I don't know, 87, 89, maybe 90,
Okay.
1990.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, today, the beauty industry has changed so dramatically, especially I feel like post 2020 it's changed a lot.
Hmm.
Um Back then, or at least when I went to cosmetology school in like 95,
Hmm.
and we did like a business plan to open a salon, but we weren't talking about the business side of the beauty industry at that time. It is a conversation that we're having now. So, like, you go to work with Prince. First of all, do you guys discuss money, or is it just like you just showed up and started working, and like how does that work?
Yeah, not a bit. In our beauty school too, we weren't taught the business of the beauty, and I think that's really important. That should definitely be shared, because it's not enough that you're just making people look good. You gotta put some money away for a rainy day. You need to start investing. I was like I told you, when I started doing hair, my clientele blew up so fast. I wish, if I know now what I knew, I wish I knew then what I know now. I said I would be owning probably half of Los Angeles, because I know that real estate is the thing that keeps appreciating. But I was so busy just good timing and taking everybody out to dinner and taking everybody to the plays, getting limos and doing all kind of stuff. I said, girl, I tell you about how much money I wasted because nobody told me to put that money away for a rainy day. Like, you never know. Kim, you need to buy this apartment building over here. Kim, you need to buy. I didn't have those type of mentors in my life at the time. And but bless God, I'm still here. So when you know better, you do better. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that when we sat down to discuss money, it didn't even we never discussed money. I just started working for the man. And it was funny because I submitted an invoice and I was charging him like $60 a hairstyle. And I was like, I think I did that for maybe about a year, right? And then I had met Will Smith barber, and I said, how much money you charge him? And he said, what you talking about? I'm dealing with a millionaire. I get 2, 3 grand a week. I said, a week? And he said, I know you making more than that. You work for Prince. And I said, yeah, no. I said, no, he making 2, 3 grand a day, he said. And that's what really blew my wig back. And I said, a day? He said, yeah, how much you making? I said, nowhere near that. he said, Kim, you out of your mind. That man is a millionaire. You better get what you worth. And literally, when I started meeting other hairstylists that are already in the industry, they started to put me up on game and like, no, we don't charge that. He don't pay $60 a hairdo. And I'm
Come on,
like,
baby.
word? Like, oh my God. So literally, I just started inching my way up the pole with my pay. And I remember one of his accountants wound up questioning me, and she was like, well, why do you make so much money? I said, excuse me? She said, why do you make so much money, as I'm submitting my invoice? And she said, well, all you do is hairstyling. So I said, sweetheart, first of all, don't hate me because you ain't me. And second of all, I said, how about you mind the business that pays you and do accounting? I said, and I will keep doing hair. I said, you question Prince and ask him why I'm making what I'm making. I said, girl, please, you don't know the sacrifices I make to be with this man. I said, are you crazy? I said,
Yeah.
so, and then that wound up souring our relationship with me and her. And then I got her in trouble like 2 years later. Come to find out, it was funds being allocated into wrong places, and that's what they like to do to celebrities. So I would always be the last one to get paid. And so that's going to be in part 2 of my book I'm working on too. So but I'll be like, don't mess with God's children, baby, because it's going to come
Okay.
back on you.
Yes.
Yeah, but I really do hate that. Like I said, nobody taught me the business side of being a
Yeah.
hairstylist. I kind of learned as I went.
Yeah. 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 And I definitely do want to get to your book. I don't want to stay, even though I am a Prince fan and I can listen to Prince stories all day, but there's so much more to your story that I want to get to. So I
Mhm.
have like maybe one more question. Let's do one more question about Prince and then we're going to get to the next part of your story. So I have two questions about Prince, actually. So the first one is you would have been with him during his transition from Nasty Prince to Jehovah's Witness Prince. Yeah.
Mm,
Can
yeah.
you talk about that and what that transition, like what prompted that transition? Do you have any insight on that?
Yeah, he was seeking out Larry Graham, who was with Sly and the Family Stone. And so Larry Graham is the man that sings "One in a Million You." Yeah, so Larry came on board with us, and Larry was a teacher of the Jehovah's Witness faith. And so he started sitting down with Prince and having Bible studies and this, that, and the other. And Prince was already coming out. The nasty phase was kind of over. So I tell people all the time, I'm glad I didn't work for naked Prince, because I don't think I could have took that. I said, because I see that little bitty bead chest and that little bitty legs. I don't think I could have took it, girl. So, yeah, I'm just like, no, ma'am, no, sir. So he was closed by the time I got to him. So Larry Graham. So Larry Graham began sitting him down and telling him about the Jehovah's Witness faith. So he wound up getting baptized and, became full Jehovah's Witness. At the time, he wanted everybody on tour to become a Jehovah's Witness. I said, I'm not doing that. And so he said, what you mean you're not doing that? I said, look, we can sit down and we go toe to toe with your Bible and my Bible. I said, but I'm not changing what I'm doing. So his second wife at the time right there, she changed her religion to be his second wife. Like, everybody would just fall down and do whatever he wants. I'm not the yes man. I don't get down like that. So I said, we can have your teacher come up against my teacher. I said, we can sit down and have Bible study. I said, so girl, sometimes we'd be reading the Bible together and going through studies. I went to all his Bible studies with him. We went to, we had prayer sessions together, all that good stuff. And that's the great part about it is, that's what my book is about, talking about the man, the father, the uncle, the son, the brother. We're going to talk about the man who was Prince, the man who loved God. And, he laughed and he cried and all that good stuff. So I'm talking about the human side of Prince. So when we would do our little things, and if it was something I didn't know, girl, I would go to the phone, call my pastor, give me the scripture for this, that, the third, give me the scripture for being angry, give me the scripture. So I'd come back and I stump Prince with the Bible thing, and we sit down and study it again. He'd be like, oh, Kim, he ain't like when I knew more than him. I'm like, but he was a student through and through. Even though he was a master teacher, he never mind being a student, And so it was just beautiful to watch the transition. But that's when he settled down and got married again, because, Larry Graham told him he needs a wife and da-da-da-da-da. But yeah, he went through that motion with that and tried it until he didn't feel like trying it no more, because he got to the highest teacher in the Jehovah's Witness fold. And he said he asked the man a question and the man could no longer answer his questions. He said, if you can't answer my questions, then I need to go back to God. And so he stopped studying Jehovah's Witness 4 years before he passed away. And so it was very interesting when he died, and everybody was like, oh, he was Jehovah's Witness. No, he wasn't. But it's all good. But he loved God, to the best of his ability. He studied every religion in the world. And I kept asking him, I said, boss, what are you looking for? He said, I just need to know that I know, Kim, because he's like facts and upon facts. He was so brilliant. He was a genius. And so I said, sometimes God is just as plain as the nose on your face. I said, you met my daughter. I said, you've seen my mother. Those are walking miracles. I tell my testimonies about them all the time. And he was like, you know what? You're right. And he's like, I ain't even got nothing for that one. I said, yeah. I was like, sometimes God is. I said, one time he sneezed and I said, bless you. He said, you can't bless me. I said, absolutely I can. Every time I do your hair, I bless you, don't I? I said, every time I pick up your dirty socks, I'm blessing you, right? I said, so don't tell me that I can't bless you, okay? I said, so he was like, Kim, like, right, okay. Yeah. I said, he was responsible for a lot of people on that tour and making our lives different and taking us all over the world. Like, it was just a beautiful situation. Because like I said, even though he was a master teacher, he didn't mind being a student.
Yes. Where were you when you found out that he passed away, and take us through that day? You were still working for him then, yeah?
Yes, on and off. Yeah. So they had called me. Who called me? My friend that works with a color team that I'm on, and he called me and said, Kim, what you doing? I said, driving down the street. And I just, dropped my guy off at the barbershop. And I said, what's up? And he said, I need you to pull over. And I said, pull over for what? He like, Kim, pull your car over. So I pulled the car over. I said, so what's up? He's like, I need you to pull up TMZ. I said, for what? He said, Kim, pull up TMZ. So I pull up TMZ and I see fatality at Paisley Park. And so what was crazy was I had just spoke to Prince and did his hair 2 weeks before he died. And so 20 days before he died. And so I said, he told me, he said, my time has come. And I said, what you mean, boss? And he was so calm. He said, and I had this conversation with my dad, and I had this conversation with one of my aunties that once they got tired, they said they was ready to go home, and literally died days later. And so I talked to Prince, and he was at peace. And he said, Kim, he said, ain't nobody did it like us, right? Nope. He said, well, they're coming for me. I said, oh. And I said, well, you ain't never had nobody around you that you didn't trust. I said, what's happening? Like, what's the difference now? And he's like, don't worry about it, Kim, because I would have jumped in and tried to save him. He said, we're not doing that this time. He said, I made my peace with God and I'm ready to go home. He said, remember you told me, I told you when the music stops that I'll cease to exist? I said, yeah. He said, the music stopped. I said, what? He said, yeah, so I know that my time here on earth is done. I said, because he knew that he was a vessel to bring light, love, and music to the world. And he said the music had stopped. He's constantly being downloaded by God. He get it out into the vault. Downloaded by God, now put it in the vault. So that's why so much music in that vault, because it was a constant rotation. And he giving it to the fans and giving it back to God, giving it to the fans, getting it from God. And so, yeah, he said, I'm tired. I'm ready to go home. I said, wow. And 2 weeks later, he died on the plane first. And then they brought him back to life, and he was in the hospital, and they couldn't give him a private room. He was like, I'm going home. He got up, went to Paisley Park, gave a party, told them, don't pray for me now, give it a few days. And a few days later, Prince was dead. And so I knew it was coming, but I didn't know when. So my friend, when I saw that fatality at Paisley Park, I said, I was probably just some female that was hanging with him. As I'm talking to him, my other boy called from CBS, head cameraman, said, Kim, we going live in 5 minutes. I need you to know what's happening. I said, know what? And he said, the coroner van just pulled off from Paisley Park and Prince is in the back. I said, what? And girl, I just started screaming and hollering. I said, oh my God. And I was stuck there for like 4 hours crying, get myself together, start screaming again. People was walking by my car, looking inside, like, is that girl all right? And my dude didn't know the whole time. I was sitting outside the barbershop. I never left. That's how I was that close to him. And he said he heard people talking about it. He was like, it can't be true because Kim would have called me already. And so finally I got myself together. I was like, hey, I got to get to the airport. And because I said, ain't nobody doing his hair but me. So I got to get to the airport. So he was like, I thought they was lying. So he came outside. We went to the airport. I caught a midnight flight out and got to Paisley Park. And by the time I got there, 6 o'clock in the morning, he had already been cremated. And I said, why would you cremate one of the biggest entertainers in the world? Why wouldn't you leave him in Rotunda inside Paisley Park so that the people could come say goodbye to him? I said, what about the ones that was closest to him? They gave the decision to his sister who just passed away, Tyka Nelson. And I said, she can't control her own life. How's she controlling Prince's estate? And I said, but it is what it is. So they having what they felt like was a memorial service to him inside of Paisley Park. There's a purple urn in the middle of the floor. Just unreal. It was just unreal. Still to this day, like I said, when I dwell on him too much, I just start boohooing. But I'm like, God is making me better, stronger day by day, because you spend 25 plus years with somebody, that's your family. That he became another one of my brothers.
Yeah.
So yeah, and people like, oh, you had your 5 minutes of fame, just go sit down somewhere. That's why I wrote the book, because there are people out here that's writing books that don't know anything about him. They're stating statistical quotas and this, that, and the other. That's why I said my book will be more homegrown and talking about the man who I prayed with, who I laughed with, who I loved. I said, and not the how many ticket sales and how many concerts he did. I don't want to deal with none of that. So I'm gonna tell you about the behind the scenes, the man that I saw and how we grew up together. That's what my book is about. Diamonds and Curls. So he's
Diamonds
the diamond.
and Curls. And if anyone's interested in purchasing Diamonds and Curls, me, where can they find them? Where can you find
Amazon. It's on Amazon. Okay. And then also I'm getting my website tuned up. Is thekimberry.com. So they can go to the website and buy it there too. But if you go to Amazon and type in Prince Hairstylist or Diamonds and Curls, it'll pop up.
Diamonds and Curls. I love that title.
Yeah, so that's around the time I got hired.
Yes.
Was the Diamonds and Pearls. So he's the diamond, I'm the curls.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it sounds like, though, because you said that you were working off and on with him at that point. So it sounds like you had kind of started to already transition your career. So you found out, like, basically one of your closest friends, family members just passed away, because that's what our clients, I've never had a client that long, but I know that that's what they become. You become family.
Yes, become family.
how long does it take you to go back to work? And like, what was that transition like for you? Where do we go from there?
Um, I had kind of sat in a daze for a few months. And then I was like, Kim, you gotta make some money. Get your butt up, right? So I got back in the salon over on Wilshire and La Brea, RVM salons, and started doing my thing. And then about 6 months into it, one of the fans hit me up and said, "Isn't it amazing?" I said, "Isn't what amazing?" It was like, "He's been gone 6 months." And I said, "What?" And I didn't even realize like 6 months of my life had just went past, and I was just like, oh my God, like wow. And that's when I decided, like, you got to put this pen to paper and get this book out. And so I'm back in the salon humping, getting my clients in and out, every day. And at the same token, I'm sitting down and writing different chapters of this book, and putting in chronological order how I traveled the world with this man, and how I um travel the world with this man, and laugh with this man and cry with this man. So now I'm putting it to paper that this is what I'm doing, but still going back every day, and going to the salon, and like I said, making the world beautiful one client at a time. So it was amazing. It was an
Yeah,
amazing journey, but
yeah,
wasn't hard at all to switch over. But I realized that I like being a personal more than I do in the salon, because in the salon you got to work much harder. So I was like, standing on your feet for 12 to 14 hours a day and all that kind of stuff. I was like, yeah, I don't miss this, but I got to make this bread. But
yes,
so I had to do it.
yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
So what have you been doing since then? Because I know you did Cat Williams. I think I
Yes.
read that you did some hair on the set of Insecure. Tell us about what stylist life has looked like for you post Prince.
Yes, I am working on my second book right now. As a matter of fact, it's
Okay.
called Wake Up and Win, and how to become a celebrity hairstylist. So I'm
Mm,
working on that one. That'll be for sale Thanksgiving Eve, Black Friday. I'm saying Black Friday. So
okay.
that'll be for sale Black Friday. And then also creating a class to go along with the book. And so that I'm looking forward to bringing that to the masses. And then I also was blessed to be able to join the Hollywood Hairstylist Union, Local 706. And my first gig out the gate was Insecure. So I did Insecure season 6. One of my friends was department head on that job. And she was like, Kim, I'm working on this show. You wanna, be down? I was like, heck yeah. So I wound up getting between that show, Insecure, another show called Hunters, and I think it was one more. I did 3. So whenever there was an off day on Insecure, I go to Hunters. Whenever there was an off day on Hunters, I go to the third show. So between them 3 shows, my department head, her name is Yvette Shelton at the time, and she said, you burning the candle at both ends. You doing too much. I said, girl, I got to get these days in. I said, because you have to submit so many days of union work before they allow you to be into the union. So that's what my book is about, telling everybody all the different steps that you have to go through to get into the union. And it ain't no easy feat, baby. They make you work to get in that. But once you're in, the membership has its privileges. So it's really a dope experience. And so I've worked on Days of Our Lives. Uh, I did the last season of Snowfall. Those are my hairstyles on there. I did Rap Shit season 2. What else? I've worked on some really cool shows. Hunters. Uh, what else? What else? What else?
What
I
are you
had just
working on
wrote them
right
down
now?
somewhere. I don't even see where they are. But I did Grey's Anatomy. Grey's Anatomy. It's been amazing. I've been there for 4 years now, and I have been. I call myself grinding, no stop. No put all gas, no brakes. It's been beautiful. I have had a wonderful time.
Yes. I love that. Okay, I
Yeah.
know that we need to start wrapping up, so I have 2 more questions for you, and then we will let you get on with your day.
Okay.
Um, so the first question is actually, so what it is called Story Time with Auntie Hair Coach. So I have 3
Mhm.
prompts. You can choose one of them, or you can choose all 3. It's up to you. But I give you 3 prompts, and you just tell us a really quick short story. You ready?
Oh, okay. Mhm.
Okay. All right. So the first prompt is, if you didn't do hair, what would you be doing instead? The second prompt is, give us your favorite Prince hair story. And the third prompt is, what's the worst beauty industry advice you've ever received?
Hmm. Let's do the Prince story.
Okay. What's your
So
favorite princess story?
I would say, and it's funny because it's hard to choose any story because they all with Prince. So it's not
Yeah.
none of them. It could be your favorite. It's like choosing your
Yeah.
favorite child. I'm like,
Yeah.
no. So, but one that stands out, I really love is Super Bowl. So we went to Miami to do the Super Bowl. I get his hair done, hair hooked up, curls all in place. He ready, right? So it started pouring down raining. He said, they're not gonna make me go outside, are they? I said, yeah, man, this is live. You got to do this, right? He like, it's gonna be water on the stage. And I was like, yeah. He says, okay. He said, I guess so. Now we get him hooked up. The people come for him. He said, Kim, give me a scarf. So I go and I'm looking for the scarf, but I'm actually sticking the scarves all in the couch. So he can't find it, right? He said, I said, I'll bring it to the stage. Don't worry about it. Just go, boss. So they put him on the cart, get him over there. He gets goes under the stage. Now under the stage, I forgot that he got his dressing room underneath the stage where he go and do his quick changes in. So I'm running across the field trying to get to the stage to get to it, right? So he coming up off the elevator, girl. He come up, he got a do-rag on his head. I said, oh hell no. I was like, no. So girl, he trying to preserve his look, girl, right? So he come
Okay.
out there, he doing his thing, girl. The purple rain come on, and girl, God made it start raining harder, girl. He was out there getting it. So then when he got through, and I'm looking, girl, all this water split splashing on the stage, and I'm like, Lord, please don't let this man get electrocuted, please. So girl, he doing his thing, girl, got through it. And then he grabbed the do-rag and threw it in the audience. And girl, that baby, that hair was still in place. I said, you know what? I said, now that's show business, baby, right there. That's show
Yes.
business. I was like, I wonder who got that do-rag, girl, because that is priceless, okay? I
Yes.
said, but yep, he finished, girl. That hair looked just as good as when I first curled it. I said, baby, that's right. You give it to him, boss.
Yes.
So that was super dope. So that's one
Yes.
of my favorites.
Yes. The way that
Super
man stood
Bowl.
on stage in the rain and a drop of water never hit him is
Not
crazy.
a drop. Everybody kept saying, was it a tent over the stage? I'm like, no, it wasn't no tent. I said, baby, that's Aqua Boogie. He can dance underwater and not get wet.
Oh my goodness. I know that's
Yeah.
right. I know that's right. What has been the most important part of your story to this
Whew. Integrity, I guess. Um, Let your word be your bond. That's what my daddy used to tell me. You tell somebody you're gonna do something, be there. If you say you got an 8 o'clock client, be there. If you say you got a 3 o'clock client, be there. Um, Definitely integrity. Like I said, with Mr. Goins from my beauty school teacher saying your first head should look as good as your last head. You know, quality work through and through all day long. So uh integrity. I used to tell everybody because when you leave my chair, I said you're now representing me. That's a walking billboard for Kim Berry on set. So that's why I always make them. That's what make them come back, and that's what make them go out there and tell somebody else that they got hooked up by Kim Berry on set. So that's just I would say integrity. Yeah, let your word be your bond. That's for
I
sure.
love it. I love it. Kim, how can people find you if they want to follow your movement? How can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Kim Berry on set. Same thing with Facebook. I also have the website www.thekimberry.com. So you can go there and things are going to constantly be updated. I'll soon be doing another book tour because I'm dropping Diamonds and Curls Part 2 will be coming. And I'm also going to take a group of fans and we're going to go to Turks and Caicos, and Prince had a home out there. So we're going to spend some time in his home. So it's going to be awesome. So look forward to that. And I think what I'm going to start doing is literally traveling the world and taking people along to different Prince sites that are well known to Prince. And then that will be my next part of my journey, as well as different motivational speaking events and things like that. So people will be able to find that all of that on the website, as well as, coming to the different pages. So Instagram and Facebook, Kim Berry on set. So yep, I'm looking forward to whatever God has for me next and doing to me, through me, and for me. So I'm
Amen.
glad. Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Kim, I am so grateful that you checked your DM and
Yes.
were willing to share with my community. This has
Yes.
been very insightful. Lots of beauty industry lessons to be learned and some great
Yeah.
stories. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you, Queen.
Sit down, sit down. Oh, yeah. I'm so glad you could make it.
And that's a wrap for season 4 of Therapy Sessions. We covered a lot of ground this season, from the science of Afro textured hair, creating safe salons for all humans, as well as how corporate culture affects our artistry. Remember, your beauty industry journey is unique, and there is no one size fits all answer. Just keep experimenting, keep learning, and most importantly, keep loving your craft. As always, thank you for joining me on this journey. I can't wait to see what next season brings, but until then, keep those curls, coils, and waves flourishing. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more hair tips, tricks, and beauty industry inspiration. And always remember, you have the power to use your unique brand to keep disrupting this beauty industry. Ta ta for now.